Legend of Zelda 2. With the obvious and immediate success of The Legend of Zelda, there had to be a sequel, right? So they made a sequel called The Legend of Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. However, I have this theory, or this thought, this idea that this was supposed to be the last Legend of Zelda. This is just my own personal thought, and the reason for it because is the title of the game and how it's known as Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link, rather than The Legend of Zelda: The Adventures of Link. So the fact that they sort of cut out the first part of the title sort of tells me like, this is the sequel. That's it. There's not gonna be any more. And if there was just gonna be called like Zelda 3, um, something else. Like maybe Zelda 3, The Return of Link. I don't know, something. But but it was a bit different than the original Zelda game. If you recall, the original Zelda game was in an aerial view, and you could see what Link was doing from like over from a topside view, whatever. And this game it was a side scroller, whereas the other game wasn't. Obviously, when you get to a dungeon or a town, you'd be side scrolling Link, and when you were outside going from town to town, dungeon to dungeon, you would be in an aerial view. Although Link this time was much smaller. Of course, the weapons were there was a lot more weapons and items to choose from. There was a lot more dungeons and enemies to choose from as well, and the bosses were harder as well. And there was also a new addition to the Legend of Zelda series. It was called the enemy Shadow Link, Dark Link, Negative Link, whatever you want to call them, which was pretty much just like some sort of evil doppelganger of regular Link, and he was supposed to mirror one of your every moves, and he was supposed to be, impossible to beat, but, it was pretty different. And so this game, like if you might have taken notice, it was a lot different than the original Legend of Zelda game. Some people liked it, and some people really hated it. It was different, and, sometimes different is good, but it's sort of a mixed opinion things. If I had to compare it to something a little more well known, I would think about Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 2. As we know, Super Mario Brothers 2, as we know it in the US, is just some sprite remix of some Japanese game about vegetables and stuff. Whereas the real Super Mario Brothers 2 was just too hard for us Americans. Ooh, American. So we had to deal with this sprite remix thingy, or whatever you want to call it. So from the first game that we played, Super Mario Brothers, to the second one, still had a lot of the same elements, but it was really, really completely different. And that's sort of what it was like for Legend of Zelda 2, Adventures of Link, because it was just different. Some people liked it and some people hated it. Personally, I think it's a pretty good game, and if you have time, just check it out.